Hello and welcome to Dire Bear. Probably hope I put y'all on the right page. All right. Now welcome to Dire Bear.
Okay. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I hit the wrong scene, so I didn't have the one set up for the cameras for y'all.
Hello.
So anyway, it's Tuesday night. Means we're playing Remnant Shadow, our Star Wars actual play. We're a couple players short today, but we shall carry on.
We have the racer, so theoretically we should be good.
And we kind of started late because dinner took a while and there was like 3 wrecks and traffic jam and I'm a mess.
None of that's gonna happen in the race itself.
Oh no. I didn't almost name the session pile-ups. Nothing in it.
Good thing I have 9D for flight.
Alright.
Concern.
Who wants to give a review of last week?
Shit happened.
A lot of shit
It
happened.
did.
And then it got
did
real.
Indeed.
Yeah, shit happened.
Apparently
then
the
it got real.
Sith are attempting an insurgency on this planet,
The Empire.
or like the Empire, the remnants thereof, who happen to have a Sith.
Yeah, not really.
I don't know that. Just going by what I see.
Oh, your character would know what she is. But yes, I believe, let's see, Ozen went on a date.
Yep.
Spotted who she would at least suspect was an Inquisitor. In plain clothes, sneaking into a construction site, along with some other folks. The construction site was on what used to be the Imperial base here on the planet. Just down from the raceway, which is also built on what used to be the base. And I believe Ozen basically tracked them to one of the doors leading to like the subterranean area.
Then I snitched them out.
Yes. Went to the race the next day. And had another encounter with him as they cut their way through the floor up into the pit area. Clearly being chased by local security forces. Y'all didn't get into a fight, but there was kind of a fight in the hallway. And in that scuffle, one of your new friends, Thrall, was injured.
No.
Nothing life-threatening, but it ruined his chances of piloting the White Witch in the race. Luckily, y'all had a pilot on tap.
Just happened to have a pilot.
And him and Jord worked out an arrangement for him to come in and race. He's only being hunted by a bounty hunter. What could possibly go wrong?
That being said, Io goes and gets the dim sum and hands it to him.
So he is disguised.
Yep. I will link what that is in chat.
Okay. Is Io going with him, or is Io staying on the ship?
She will ask and be like, hey, should I stay here or be there? At this point, does it matter?
I would feel better if someone was here, so it's not just R2. Well, no, R2's going to be with me.
Could we, since neither of their characters are here, or neither of them are here at the moment, but could Rappy and Duba's character be on the ship?
Yeah, we could leave them on the ship.
I believe Keltzer was already in the pit. Keltzer went with
Oh yeah,
Ozen.
went with Ozen.
But Doc is still on the ship, I believe. Yeah.
Keltzer could absolutely just like, this sucks. I'm gonna go. Loads a gun, goes to the ship.
Jetpacks away.
Yeah.
Again, getting stopped by security, like, you're in restricted airspace.
Ma'am, you cannot fly here.
Land, cross the road, and then take off.
So yeah, we can just, I guess, have Keltzer and Doc stay on the ship, and then.
Okay.
Keltzer could, it was like, especially if there's like people like showing up in like randomly firing. Like, oh, I'm gonna go make sure the ship's okay.
We want somebody heavily armed at the ship, just in case.
Of
Yeah.
course.
So yeah.
Alright. So Kelter heads back to the ship to stand guard.
Mhm.
Doc is, I don't know, rolling bandages or whatever he does in his spare time.
Rolling bandages on his robotic arm. Ah, yes. This is
Downloading more
perfect.
combat chips.
Charging.
And so Iria, Io, and R2T9?
Yes.
Hey.
Basically call a taxi and head out to the raceway.
Yeah.
Alright. So you get to the raceway. Jord is called ahead and got you cleared to be allowed down into the pit. You get down there. Let's see. I don't think Jord has met. He's met Io. I don't think he's
I've
met
not
the
met the
captain.
captain.
No.
Nothing would like bridge that gap of like, this is the captain. Captain, this is, like start like introducing. As like the person who has kind of been a liaison between the two parties of my party and the racers here.
Anyway, Jord walks up and shakes your hand. Oh, Captain, it's good to see you. I'm glad you can help us out.
Well, it's quick cash, so something to do.
Is that a racing pun?
Could be.
Yeah, if it is, I approve.
There's actually like a giggle from Ozen.
So, White Witch.
Yes, he takes you over, shows you the ship. Or the speed, I should say.
He'll look it over and have R2 also look it over.
I think I showed y'all the pic last time. But there you go. Well,
Yeah.
you've got access to the sheet for it anyway.
Yeah, basically the pair are gonna look it over, make sure everything is where it should be, and nothing's gonna come flying out.
Yeah, it looks like it's well put together. Some of the mechanics are still, looking it over and double checking stuff. They quickly load your astromech into it to give him time to get familiar with the systems.
Yep.
I mean, fairly simple compared to a starfighter or something, so he shouldn't have any trouble with it.
And he'll just swing up and sit in the cockpit and familiarize himself with the controls.
Okay. It's a slightly older speedster they've refurbished. It was known for its reliability back in its day. Though they have obviously done heavy modifications to it. The basic controls are laid out in a fairly familiar pattern.
Gotcha.
George is kind of filling you in on its capabilities, some of which he talked to you over the comms anyway. But
yeah.
But you're there about 15 minutes before the request comes over for the racers to move to the starting line.
Okay.
Lucky Irda, you got this.
Don't crash.
Don't invite that kind of mojo.
Don't speak that evil into existence.
I mean, I did with her getting COVID.
Oh, fun. I'm sure she appreciated that.
It was mostly of a shenaniganry. Because I don't know who all watches this. So I'm not gonna say the
Mostly
reason.
because a joke of, well, you'll get your vacation if you get sick, and
Wish granted.
somewhere a monkey paw was like, "Eh."
Yep.
All right. So anyway, they call y'all to line the ships up. We jump back over the roll 20 just to show a map or show the picture of the racetrack again. Y'all have seen this before, I'm sure.
Yes.
And the racetrack, that kind of tube that runs across the top of the track, and then that tower with the tubes wrapped around it is basically what you'll be racing through.
Is it like so I didn't ask this last time. Is it like an elevated point where it goes up, or is it going straight in a straight circle and you just happen to see like you go from like light to dark?
The tubes are transparent.
Mhm.
Though on the tower section, when you loop down to the back, you'll be essentially inside like the building.
Gotcha.
Getting an echo from somebody. But yeah, definitely an echo. So there will be portions of the race where you're out of sight of the viewer of the stands for a little while.
Okay. Alrighty.
And I believe the race. I'm trying to remember if it starts at the bottom or the top.
Pick one.
Yeah.
Fair enough. We're gonna say it starts at the top of the tower, and then you kind of race around through, and then finally around the whole outskirts of the thing before it comes down, kind of settles in the large open area.
Gotcha.
So as the racers begin pulling up, you hear the announcer come over the intercom system. And it's a typical, great day for a race. He's talking about, after the delays, how they're finally having the race. You've had this whole pre-show thing going. There's no mention of the kerfluffle that happened in the pits.
Of course not.
There were some early reports of a slight disturbance, and then nobody else has talked about it since.
Yeah.
But the first racer called up to the line is Gregoria Dock, piloting the Windswept.
So that's where Dupe is.
Hmm?
That's where Dupe is.
Doc.
D-O-K, but...
Pretty near, but not quite hardly.
The pilot is a female Duros. Next up, now can't talk tonight, or most of tonight. Next up, we have Harakar piloting his Stalker, and you see Trandoshan, the lizard folks. He pulls up and he's kind of waving. Then we have Sebulba in his second chance. And you see Speeder pull up with a Doug piloting it. Then they announce Agila, and you piloting her Speed Demon, and you see a female Devorian in a speedster, or in their speeder. Since you're in disguise, Captain, what name did you give them? Did you give them an alias, or did you give your real name and you just don't look like yourself?
He gave them the name Shishra.
And they announce a late pilot change for this one. And they announced what was that name again?
Shishra.
Shishra piloting the White Witch.
Basically, he's using his twin sister's name.
This whole endeavor was her idea. So, then you pull up next to him. The other pilots kind of, look at you.
He's just focused straight ahead.
Now, your disguise, what do you look like? I think you may have mentioned it last week. I can't remember if it was just changing your coloration to make you look typically human, or...
Yeah, he made himself look a little bit more human, like when he was getting back to the ship, but with the whole face thing.
Wait. Hang on, I'm looking at the actual DM sim.
Yeah, but with the dim sim, it doesn't really matter, because he had washed all that off anyway after he had gotten back to the ship.
Yeah, because the DM sim just basically shadows you, so you can't actually see.
Yeah. I'd imagine they'd be wearing racing helmets too, which would probably be full face.
Yeah. I mean, when he got to the pit, he got a racing helmet to put on that would keep his facial features out of view.
At least most of them. You got the big goggles now.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the pod racing helmets. So anyway, all the pilots are looking at you. And then they announce another last-minute pilot change. As they announce a Tonk Corvus piloting the Starlight Gem.
Oh, fun.
Oh.
And you recognize the bounty hunter when he pulls up next to you.
Yep.
He looks at you. The Starlight Gem, it's a nice looking speeder, like, the rest of them out here. Though it's very brightly colored, very gaudy. Looks like somebody's bedazzled it.
Yeah.
And then he's sitting there in his all black and silver armor.
Yeah.
Send a little thing up. Captain, isn't that the name of the bounty hunter?
Yep.
Even from the pitch, you can see that distinctive helmet of his.
That guy's got some weird career choices. Bounty hunting, speeder racing.
Yeah. Well, I guess you have to be able to
George
do a
kind of
little bit of
shrugs.
everything.
I don't know. I mean, Thrall raced Boba Fett one time, so maybe it's just a side gig bounty hunters do. Though his outfit is really clashing with that ship.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like it's actually his.
Maybe we should check with some of the other pits and see what happened to that driver.
Not a bad
Sure.
idea.
Gossip spreads fairly easily between pits.
Not a bad idea. Io, make sure no one dies. And she taps Io on the shoulder and just starts going towards the other, moving towards the other pits. Not getting
Okay.
close enough towards them, but just close enough to snoop in.
Well, you'd have to step back out in the hallway. Well, unless you want to step out into the yard and circle around. But yeah, I mean, they're all basically
the yard and circling around.
They're all
they're sequestered off. Yeah.
Well, the yard is technically considered off limits now.
Yeah.
So yeah, you step back into the hallway. And the hallway's fairly. There's a droid walking down the hallway. Looks like he's checking numbers on the bays.
Mm-hmm. What'd you say the name of the ship was? The Gym?
The Starlight Gym.
Starlight Gym? I'll go to the droid and be like, excuse me,
Yes.
have you seen the Starlight Gym? The Starlight Gym pit crew?
I am not certain which crews are in which pits. I'm just making a delivery to, you know,
do you know which one you're after?
Pit 8.
Pit 8. Which pit am I?
Y'all are in Pit 8.
Oh, well, I'm in Pit 8. I can take that off your hands.
You are not the individual I'm supposed to give it to. I appreciate the offer, though.
Who is
Very
the
kind
individual
of
you're
you.
supposed to give it to?
A Jord. Shoot, I blanked on Jord's last name. Whatever Jord's last name is, they rattle that off. Was it Corbin?
No, that's the bounty hunter.
No, that's Covis.
Yeah, Cobus. Well, Pit 8 is this way.
Oh, thank you.
Can I see the like? Is he like holding the package?
Yeah, it's just a box.
I can check it for something fucky.
Jord Dusat, that's his name.
Dusat.
D-U-S-A-T.
Mhm.
Okay.
Do you mind if I check it for something? You know.
Security checked me before I came in. Why are you so interested in my delivery?
I'm part of the pit. I'm part of the crew.
You're not dressed like a mechanic.
No, I'm not.
Which is fair. You're not.
That's fair. I'm still part of the crew.
He starts doing this kind of slow side step, trying to get around you in the hallway.
I'll let him get around. Io's over there, so like, I just kind of step to the side. There's something messed up in there.
If something's damaged, I'm sure the sender insured it.
Not what I meant. And then she goes off and goes back to look for the crew of the gym.
All right, you check the next one.
Mhm.
It's pretty much an all Duros crew in there, so you figure that's probably the Windswept crew.
Mm-hmm.
The next crew is kind of mixed between various species. But when you inquire, they're the pit for the stalker.
Okay.
When you get to the door, the next door, the door is shut.
Ooh. Is it like shut, locked, or is it just shut?
When you try to open it, it does not open.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna. See. Here's the thing in Star Wars. I never understand why, if you're just doing reconnaissance, you don't just like, you don't have to do the whole thing. You just do a little hole. And so Ozen's gonna like just turn and look and see if anyone's like watching her.
You don't think anybody is.
Pull out my lightsaber, just enough to have like an eye hole covering.
So basically, you just poke it through and then look.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then blow on it to cool it off. And then look.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have the greatest view, but somebody's tied up in the floor in there.
Okay. And then I'll just the rest of the way.
All right. So now you're cutting a big circle.
Now I'm cutting the big coyote roadrunner circle. And take it and then go run and see.
All right. While that's going on, Eric, y'all are all up to the starting line.
Mm-hmm.
You have the little, floating droid light that does the whole Is it green? Or is it red, yellow, green? I forget how they do
It's
it.
usually red, yellow, green.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or red, yellow, green, one of the two.
I was trying to remember from the old pole position arcade game when I was a kid. So yeah, and as soon as that green light hits, you all take off. I have pre-rolled. I have pre-rolled all the racers' rolls except for Corvus.
So am I rolling my piloting and the speed code?
First, we're going to roll speed.
Okay. It's just the speed code?
This is just the speed code.
Not terrible.
Okay, Corvus got a 6.
Actually, that's exactly medium for the code. I got a 9.
Okay. Alright, so as you shoot forward and enter the tubes, Gregoria is in first place. She's just managed to inch y'all out a little bit. Get in the tubes first, about a car length ahead of you. You said you had a 9.
I did, yes.
So you are neck and neck with the Devorian, Agila, who also has a 9. Haraka and Corvus are right behind you two. And then pulling up the rear is Sebulba.
Oh, great.
How did he live
Lost-
past movie 1?
It's lost now. Sebulba always wins.
Yeah.
Well, he had a great winning streak, but he was like a lot of your great boxers or MMA fighters. They have these impressive winning streaks, but once somebody beats them, then they're just kind of average after that.
Yep.
All right, now make your piloting check.
Okay. Am I using anything else with this?
This would be your pilot. It would be your appropriate skill plus the handling of the vehicle.
So maneuverability?
Yes, the maneuverability code.
Okay, sweet. So all of my d6s. Yeah. Damn. Okay. That's 18, 20, 30, 8, 41.
Okay.
That was like almost max roll. I got 3 6. Also, sorry, it was 9 dice, not all 10, but it was 3 6s, 2 5s, 3 4s, and a 3.
And what was the total again?
41.
All right. So let's see. Okay, I believe you have gotten the highest pilot roll. So everybody makes it in the tube without any trouble. The entrance to the tube is slightly narrower than the rest of the tube.
Yeah.
Which is, intended as something of an obstacle. All of y'all managed to kind of squeeze through. But you hear a loud scraping behind you as Sebulba scrapes his speeder getting in.
Man, you weren't kidding.
Then inside the pit, the announcer is talking about his poor start now, and how Gregoria, was off the line the quickest, which is something of a trademark of hers.
The all of the the pit areas have their own like little monitor, right?
Oh yeah, there's a
Got holovids and stuff just
yeah.
of the race as it's going.
Yeah, and everybody pretty much has it on the same channel.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's the race starting up as Ozen is cutting a hole in the door. And your saber's going through it pretty quick. This is not like an armored door or
no.
anything.
I didn't figure this was like, I don't know, carbonite or something.
Think of your typical like school door or something. It's thick enough, but
sorry, I'm not strong. Just like bring it down.
Meanwhile, in pit 8, some of the pit crew are looking out, like watching the cars enter. Jord is watching the monitor. Seems to be pretty happy with the start. Okay. We knew
He's got chops.
We knew Gregoria was gonna be the one to beat. But as it's starting up, a droid walks in. Pardon me, I have a package for a Jord.
I would have Dusat.
Yeah, Dusat.
I would have also I was gonna say I would have also radioed that ahead of Io to Io, so it's not like a surprise. But Io was AFK at the time, so I couldn't just be like, "Hey, by the way."
What? Huh? Huh?
Well, there's a droid coming to deliver a package to Jord, so I would have. Ozen would have been like, "Io, there's a droid going towards the pit for a package to Jord. Just make sure it doesn't blow up the pit."
Why didn't you make sure before you let it come?
He was really pushy about it.
So anyway, this droid walks in. I have a package here for a Jord Dusat. Or Dusat, however you pronounce it. Jord turns around. Get a delivery here?
Let's take this out somewhere where there's less things that could explode. Just in case.
Jord's not paying attention to you. He's looking at the robot. Wait a second. I know, and as he's going, I know, the droid goes, "You," and it's just staring at him. But it's a much different sounding voice than when he walked in going, "Oh, I have a package for you." At first, it sounded kind of like protocol droid sound. A little, maybe a little high strung, a little prim proper.
It's an assassin droid, isn't it?
And then there was just anger in the voice. "You. I remember you, the fat one."
That's just rude.
That seems a bit. What? Character said, "What is up with the droids here?" Shooting, getting sassy, and.
But as he says that, he just flings the package towards y'all.
Rude.
The box hits the ground and something round rolls out of the box.
Ah, come on! Is it a thermal detonator?
For a split second, that's what you're afraid of.
Yeah. That's how the
But
day
no.
was going.
Oh, Otter's in the chat. Hello, Otter.
Hello,
Is it
Otter.
a coconut?
Hi,
Is it an
Otter.
armadillo?
You believe it's some sort of stun grenade.
How quick could Io react to that?
Oh, let's see.
What kind of roll do I need to make?
Yes, that's actually what I'm looking at.
You gotta make the blackjack roll.
Roll for shenanigans.
What is it you're attempting to do?
She's going to try to kick it out back into like the main aisle, drag like out of the pit.
Okay, back. You're trying to kick it back to the door.
Yes.
Soccer kick it.
Yeah,
out into the hallway.
like-
Okay.
Very aggressive hacky sack.
hmm
That sounds like that'd be dexterity based.
Yeah. I mean,
Let's see.
if it makes you feel any better, all of my dex stuff is 3D, so I could just roll any dex. Like melee parry, maybe?
Oh, okay. They are all the same. Okay. Or just melee because you've got to hit it right.
Yeah. There we go. I mean, I tried.
You tried.
What happened? She got her foot blown off by a stun grenade. It's fine.
Ooh, how do you get a 6 on 3d6? Mm.
2 1s and a 4.
Uh,
Or other combinations of very low numbers.
Yep.
3 2s.
let's see here. All right, now where's his? Ah, there's his grenade skill.
At least theoretically, it makes it harder by 6 instead of like being flat out a useless roll.
Well, she's not dodging. She was trying to kick the thing away so everybody would avoid it.
Part of her mind still is thinking, this is a thermal detonator. This whole place is going to go up.
What if it's a thermal detonator? I don't think kicking it out of the hallway would save you if it was a.
Yeah. Neither would like diving behind the table, so.
But that doesn't mean that people wouldn't be trying it in that instance.
Yeah.
Check my weapons list. All right. All right, so you go to kick it, and sure enough, by the time your foot connects with it, it goes poof. It doesn't seem to do anything to the droid. The pit crew starts dropping. Jord kind of falls back. And I'm going to need you.
Yes, I imagine my bell gets rung.
Well, that'll depend on how you roll the next part.
That's going to depend on.
How much your dice like you.
Yeah, and how many dice I have in that skill. Like I said, she's good at like 1 or 2 particular things.
All right, now I'm in the weapon section. Where is the stun effect?
Is it in the common chart? No, never mind.
Awesome.
Oh wait, damage summary, like stun damage, is in there. I don't know if that'll help.
Let me look at that. That's right. You roll damage like normal, but it being stun damage, it goes on that different chart. Because the stuns won't, stunning you won't kill you.
Is that also like unable to talk when they're stunned?
That depends on how badly it stuns you, because you can just get negative dice to actions. You know, where it's rattled
Gotcha.
you, it's rung your bell, but you're okay.
Sure.
Or you can be, completely knocked out.
She probably still had her. If it makes you feeling better, she probably still had her comm clicked after giving Ozen shit about like why didn't you stop the droid?
All right. So let me roll the damage. And I will need a strength roll from Io.
Fantastic. It's one of my best stats.
Oh, I figured it would be.
I don't believe you.
And I think I froze up on roll 20. Give me a second.
No problem.
I don't have any dice. Oh no, I lied.
Yes, you have dice.
I have special dice. Brand new dice even.
Oh, where did I... shoot, across the room from me. I got some 3D printed dice.
Okay, so that was a 6 and a 4, so 10. I don't have any modifiers.
All right. The number you needed to beat was a 16.
That wasn't going to happen with my 2Ds.
Is that?
That's what I had on the dice. Do I add anything to that?
That adds to the that adds to the DC, right? If you roll a 10.
I had 10 on the dice. Do I add any?
No. We compared the damage roll to the strength roll.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Oh, this is already dealing damage. Gotcha.
If the damage roll is less than the strength roll, there is no effect. Unlike with regular damage where you're stunned. If the damage roll is greater than the strength roll, but not 2 times greater, you suffer a negative 1d to your actions going forward.
Oh, you're all right.
If the damage roll is 2 times the strength roll, it's a -2 dice. And if it's 3 times, you're knocked unconscious.
Yeah, you're theoretically fine. Just slower.
And I believe
Theoretically fine.
multiple stuns the effects would stack up, as they hit you more and more and more.
Fantastic.
If another grenade, happens to roll out.
Getting back into roll 20.
All right. Meanwhile,
So I was gonna say, is that like a flashbang, or is that like just an
Sonic.
electrostatic, or is that like a sonic? Because 2 of those would be much louder on a comm that's still going than one of them.
there's definitely a loud sound. It sounds similar to when you hear a blaster firing in stun.
Okay.
Not exactly the same, but close enough. Ozen would probably recognize it.
There would have also been Io cussing like,
The interesting thing would be if you've left your comm, if Ozen's left her comm on, did Io hear the snap hiss?
No.
we can just figure that out later.
There's probably a lot of things going on at once.
Yeah. She'd be like, where did Ozen get a welding torch?
I'm sure that's the first thing she would think.
Maybe.
Io, give me a perception check.
Let me get back
roll.
into my sheet real quick. Slowly working my way there. Perception, just straight perception. Oh, they're all the
yes.
same. Never mind.
You're a very focused character.
Wow.
Yeah, she does a few things very well. 12?
All right. And on the difficulty chart, 12 would get us up to a moderate difficulty. So she probably heard it, but then almost immediately got distracted by a droid and had a grenade go off.
Yeah.
Many other things were happening at once.
Yep.
So it's going to be one of those things where later on she will remember having heard that, But if she connects it to what it was, she might very well go, no, I got to be misremembering that, in all the excitement.
It was probably a plasma torch. It's a pit. They're everywhere.
Kind of up to the player.
She might just watch closer, but we'll see.
And if she's never encountered a lightsaber in person, she might not have a clue what they sound like.
Well, there was that one already.
Oh,
She
that's
was
fair
there.
enough. Yeah, she was there that time.
Yeah.
You mean when you extend the lightsaber, it doesn't sound like a party horn? Little paper ones.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do
hold on a second.
Oh no.
you have a?
Oh, I believe Otter has given a boon to you lovely people.
To who?
He says lovely people. The lovely makes
is
me
it a
think
party-
me,
is it a party boon?
but people is plural, so...
Is it? Oh, he does have one. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I got booted from Twitch too, so
But Discord and Zoom, hang on.
yeah,
Hopefully.
hopefully.
So I got this thing.
Nice. Hey, it's purple too.
Hey,
Alright. But Otter gave y'all a boon, so... What should boons be in this campaign? I hadn't given it any thought.
an extra dice maybe on a roll of our choice.
Actually,
An extra dice or an extra flat bonus.
Yeah, I like the whole extra dice on the roll of your choice.
Is it one extra dice or how many are we talking here?
I think one extra dice is fine. Well, yeah, one extra dice is fine.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Must be used during this game
Yes, must be used this session.
because we won't remember.
I'll write them down. Don't tempt me.
Uh,
I mean, I'm not.
all right. So while that's happening, you have cut the door falls forward. So Ozen is like
Yep.
it's like stepping through.
As it's coming down, I'm immediately like extinguishing it and putting it back. Like,
Really
before it
weird
even-
welding torch.
Because I imagine it's the thing where it's like stuck in place, and then you can like hit it to go down. So then she like extinguishes it, puts it down, and then like pushes it off, pushes it forward, and then she goes through and assesses the situation. Oh my god!
I have my buddy.
All right. Back out
This
in the
is where
race
I'm not
course.
I gotta find a place to set this dude. Yeah, you want to sit here. Be a good boy.
You know, you're zipping through the tunnels. You know, trying to get past each other. There's not enough room to pass each other without like kind of going up on the tunnel wall.
Yeah. Did I get high enough on my piloting roll to be able to do that? I got a 41.
All right. So this go round, we're going to start with better start with a piloting roll this time.
Okay.
Let's see here. All right, there's roll. All right, Corvus got a 21.
Uh, 39.
All right, and now your speed roll.
$12.
Corvus got a 9. So he's hanging behind you pretty good, but not quite catching up.
I'm gonna put this dude back now.
Puppies.
Accidentally ripped his head off trying to get him out of the bag. So I had to put that back on.
Oh no.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah. Well, it's an easy like snap-on thing. It's from that droid. It's from the droid workshop thing at
Oh, okay.
Disney World. So it's one of those like it just kind of like snaps on. But I figured since I pulled out the lightsaber, might as well pull out Droid Buddy too.
Pull out the boy.
Yeah, pull out the boy. I mean, he's not an R2 unit. He's an R4, I believe. But
All right, you and Gregoria have swapped places. She is now in
Oh.
second, and you are in first.
oh, goody. Doing my job. Doing it well.
Corvid is right behind you
For now.
for now.
You said Gregoria was second.
Oh, you're right. You have pulled a little bit ahead of him then. Y'all are packed close together, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah. From what you said, it sounded like we had swapped places. So to my brain, that meant
Your R2 unit whistles behind you, kind of an agitated whistle.
Stop tailgating me.
And through your little view screen, it comes up. Yeah, he just watched Corvus, try to bump Gregoria, but she had a better piloting than him, so she managed to avoid it.
Oh, okay. So he's trying to take me out on the racetrack. From the looks of it.
And the other racers are falling a little bit further behind y'all.
Yeah, because someone's already getting violent.
Well, that's not that unusual, really.
Well, yeah. Not unusual in the race itself, but like in the opening laps. Okay. Put Droid Buddy away.
Alright.
I'd actually contemplated playing a Jedi character this game and just have this as my prop. I mean, like, it actually has like the whole noise thing just.
Very nice.
Cool.
I can't say anything. I was playing a cleric in Pathfinder one time, and I was carrying my foam Thor hammer around with me the whole time.
Mood.
You also did that in Monster of the Week.
Yes, it was the same hammer, I think.
Mm-mm.
All right, but cutting back into the pits, Ozen, you hear some kind of noise come over the comm, but it comes over about the same time the door is hitting, so you're not sure what it was. Other than you think you heard the echo of it, it's like you heard it through the comms, and maybe you actually heard it off in the distance.
Heard it down the hall.
Yeah. The acoustics in the hallways are weird too, though.
Yep.
Just dropped a really heavy book.
As you step in, you see basically the entire pit crew is like tied up and laying on the floor.
So they wouldn't have seen. So they're like prone on the floor. Were they facing towards the door?
One of them was.
Okay.
And that one is wide-eyed as you step through.
Okay. My lightsaber's back in where I leave it, so I'm just gonna untie them.
Don't you have to push
You
it
all
through
okay?
the door though?
No, I pushed brute force it.
Okay. I thought you were butter knifing the door, so it'd be on the other side as well.
Yeah, the blade went all the way through.
Oh yeah, no, they would have seen that. That's fine.
Okay, that's what I was
Yeah.
trying to
Uh,
reconcile in my head.
No, that you're right about. Ozen isn't very strong, so she used what was on her.
Fair.
But yeah, she's untying everybody. Are you all okay? Are you all with the Starlight Gym?
yeah, that's ours. Yeah.
You don't happen to have a way to make that ship or that speeder stop from here, do you?
Dead man
First,
switch.
No, why would we set up our speeder to be sabotaged at a distance? No.
Wishful thinking. You
Uh,
look what happened. You got sabotaged anyway.
No, the guy like hijacked our speeder.
Just like beat the crap out of all of you and jumped on it.
Well, him and his droid had they had guns. I mean,
His droid. Ah. And then
uh,
it's like, okay, I'm glad you all are safe. Runs off.
the older guy that was facing the door, you hear it as he runs by. You kind of hear him quietly. May the force be with you.
Could you untie us?
Thumbs up at. Oh no, she did.
Oh, okay.
She's like,
Yeah,
untied
they're
them.
loose now. The pilot's all pissed
Yeah.
off.
I like thumbs up as I hear that running back.
And the guy that saw you and that said that is a little bit older than the rest of the pit crew. So
Yeah.
But then over in the White Witch's pit, you are now facing off against a droid. It's just Io and the droid.
Question:
Nice
would
for
they have
now.
been allowed to bring their weapons into the pit? Would they have been like, "Hey, no weapons in the pit," or they didn't check?
Y'all were rushing into the last minute. Jord had called ahead. Would she have
Probably would've
tried?
checked us.
Would she have tried to sneak a weapon in? Well, I say sneak. Would she have tried? Would she have had one relatively concealed?
Part of me wants to say yes. Other parts she doesn't. Well, no, she's been going around with this group long enough, and one of them is a gun runner who probably drills into all of their heads. Be prepared.
Be prepared. Have something on there.
Yeah, have a gun.
We're gonna leave the ship knowing there's a bounty hunter after this guy.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not
she'd
gonna
have
li-
a laser pistol, probably small of the back.
I'm not gonna lie. Iria has his dagger in his boot and the pistol in his pistol hidden holster on him in the speeder right now. So
You like some mock Jesus gun shooting.
All right,
Just hang out.
Give me a hide sneak,
Okay.
and we'll see if the one guard that checked y'all's ID as you came in were how observant he was.
all right.
I'm gonna use my
Your
D6
dice.
bonus.
All right.
Watch it roll a 1.
That ain't bad. I got a 13 for mine.
Mine and final would be a 12.
All right. The security guy got a 10.
Ozen got a 15. I got all my shit still.
Thank you, Otter.
We appreciate this boon.
Oh, he's also giving me one apparently. What would my boon be?
We appreciate this boon of bliss.
I'll let mine be the same thing. I've got a D6 I can throw down to any of my NPCs.
Yep.
Or do I roll it once and apply it to all my NPCs that round?
No.
No.
I mean, then we all get a D6.
Just a D6 for the rest of the session. It's an arms race, buddy. What are you gonna do?
Cheat. All right. Okay, so everybody's got their armaments.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Sarah, what is Io's dex?
3D.
Okay. Oh, and his is also a 3D.
It's like OK Corral kind of stuff going on here.
All right, so declare. Let's see. I'll go ahead and declare what he's going to do first, so you can react to that. He reaches behind him and kind of detaches this boxy looking thing, but he brings it around and holds it up to you like it's a weapon. You assume he's going to fire something at him.
Fucking droids!
Somewhere Doc's ears are burning, if he had ears.
Can she do a combo thing?
You can do multiple actions.
Does she recognize what this box is?
Or about roughly the size of what it might be.
Well, is it like a box that might have something in it, or is it a box that is a weapon?
Is
it a boom box of death?
Is this droid going Terminator on her?
Give me a perception roll.
I'm so good at those. Is it any kind? Would I get any bonus if it's some kind of like computery thing, or just straight percent? Oh, I'll take that.
Let's see.
17 is nice.
Yeah.
Trying to remember what it was called.
Basically, would she recognize it as something that is going to cause her immediate pain and harm?
Yes, it is essentially a disguised blaster.
If there is a nearby table or something she can dive behind, she diving.
That's a dodge.
Yep. So I will roll a dodge.
It was called something like a box blaster.
Okay.
You know, it's very much just, shaped like a box with a big button on the top. But it's the purpose
Remote control.
The purpose was for it to be kind of a concealable something.
Mm-hmm.
You can sneak it. You can sneak it around.
It's less gun shaped.
Yeah, it's not something you'd really run into battle with because he's holding it two-handed like that.
Yeah.
But yes, you recognize it as a gun.
Gun. All right, she's going to try and dodge behind a table or something sturdy enough to withstand potentially a blast.
Okay.
Womp womp.
Oof.
So you dive behind like one of them big rollable toolboxes or something, All right.
Let me know when Ozen gets there so she can make her grand entrance.
So we're totally stealing this thing and completely rewriting its memories, right? Factory reset the droid, take it for ourselves.
Is there a button like on the side to reset it?
Reset.
You have to have a paper clip that you straighten out.
Oh yeah, and you have to pop out the
really
SIM
hard
card.
to do. Really hard to do in combat.
Yeah, you have to pop the SIM card out and put in the new one.
Yeah, just subdue it and then
put
factory
water on it.
reset the droid, and then we get to keep it for ourselves.
All right, so
Just douse it in water and put it in rice.
He rolled a 14.
Rude.
In combat, point blank range, so he needed a 5. The 9 you rolled in your dodge makes that a 14. So he got exactly what. Oh wait, but you dove behind cover.
Yep.
Yeah.
I forget what cover gives you, but I know it's going to be something.
Is it in the common chart?
You check that while I look on this one.
All right, I'm waiting for it to load. Still waiting. My God.
All right, in that case, I'll pull it up.
It is
It's not on the
on
common
here.
chart.
Cool. I'm closing it out.
I'm pretty sure it's in the thing though. Which is very descriptive, I'm aware.
Yep.
It's in the thing. I know I
Optional
changed it
firing
to one thing.
modifiers. Light cover is a +1 to the difficulty number. So you've got a 15, he's got a 14. The
Saved by a tool bench.
The toolbox takes the shot.
comm still on? Oh, Zen!
Bigger fish to fry. I'm on my way.
All right. So the round basically ends, Ozen, with you making it to the door. So you see her duck behind that. You heard the blaster fire. The droid is standing there. It's the droid you saw in the hallway, of course.
Is everyone else like on the floor?
Yes.
Cool.
Jord.
I just want to make sure they're not going to get shot.
Jord looks Jord and most of the pit crew look unconscious. There's one guy that fell down. You see him kind of crawling. You know, he's crawling behind something and then kind of dragging the closest buddy back there with him. You know, he's clearly rattled. You know.
Yep. But they're like behind stuff, so they're not. They're like behind stuff, right? Everyone's
Yes.
behind something.
Everybody's either behind something, or everybody's at least prone.
Yeah.
And the robot only seems to be, the droid only seems to be interested in, well, IO until you run up.
Okay.
You probably don't recognize the gizmo in his hand, but that is clearly black. You know, that is clearly a
There's something smoking out of the end of it.
Phyllis Phil's I will shout, he's got a gun! When did droids start getting to carry around guns?
Something about bounty hunters and droids.
Meanwhile, out in the race,
Yes.
and we're not doing a lap by lap. You know, maybe a few laps that go for each of these rolls.
So pilot roll first.
Pilot roll first.
So pilot and then speed. Understood.
Got a need for
Well,
speed.
it's occurred to me that even if you're going faster than them, you got to have the piloting roll to actually get around them safely, because there is collision damage.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 32 for Corvus.
Uh, 34.
All right, so Corvus gets around Grigori and then just kind of taps, her on the front of her speeder on the side and kind of throws her off. So she's kind of weaving a little bit and kind of falls back behind you. Which allows Agila to catch up with her. So the two of them are kind of neck and neck, a little ways behind you and Corvus, who are now number 1 and number 2. Your R2 unit thinks he does not like this guy.
Oh, I agree.
No sportsmanship at all. And he throws you up the data on all the angles and stuff on how he could have easily have avoided bumping her. Clearly he did that on purpose.
Speed next.
Oh, right. I was about to forget about that. Corvus might be able to even get in front of you. 15.
16.
Oh shit!
Oh, y'all are just right there.
Neck and neck.
Are we at a straight stretch?
Not really. That tower port is really kind of a tight turns. Y'all are probably actually kind of up on the sides going around there just from the centrifugal force.
Okay. So if he's literally like right behind me, like at my bumper.
Break check.
No, what he's gonna do is, because he was briefed that this thing has souped up engines and repulsor lifts.
Yes, it can go 4 meters high instead of the usual 2.
Yeah.
Which means you could shoot across the. You could probably shoot across the tube and like bump your head on the other side.
He's gonna wait until he's out of the tight spiral.
Okay.
When we get to like that long strand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a much. It's still curved, but it's a much
Yeah.
gentler curve there.
Is he still like on my ass?
Oh yeah, he's going to stay. He's staying there as much as he can.
Okay. So while we're in the tight curve, what Ayota's gonna do is he's gonna tell R2 to calculate a quick burst on the repulsor lift to try to like go up a little bit more. Like just to calculate it like when we're on like the long stretch.
Okay.
And basically if he's still on my ass, what he's gonna do is he's gonna like bump the White Witch up, which will lower the speed a little bit, more than likely. And then go back to normal, and basically he wants to land on Corvus.
Some speed racer kind of crap. Boing.
Yeah.
If he's gonna ride my
Spring
ass like
legs come
that,
up.
then yeah.
I like it. And more importantly, your R2 unit likes it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is an R2 unit of a gun runner. It likes excitement. So basically, while we're in the tight spiral, that's what he's going to have R2 calculating while he focuses on keeping ahead.
Sounds fair.
And then once they get to the long stretch, then plan in motion.
Then we will initiate that plan next round.
Okay. Basically, he's basically going to force Corvus to either move or get flattened. One of the two.
And that will depend on the path he goes.
Yes.
All right. In the pit.
Which way is he firing?
What is Ozen's dex?
It's
I
2
think
plus 2.
it's yeah. I think Ozen's is the lowest out of all of us.
It's like almost the lowest.
No, Doc is the lowest. That's right.
Doc is by far the lowest. Minus
All
2
right, then
equals 2.
Ozen, you declare what you're going to do first.
Ah, I'm the slowest. Great.
So you get to declare what you're going to do, and everybody gets to react to that.
Yep. All right. Well, she sees Blaster going that way. Probably hears Io. He's got a gun. So yeah, she's gonna. She has her baton out already. She's gonna go and whap him.
All right, so you're just running at him with a stick.
Yep. Electro stick, but a stick.
He, seeing Ozen running at him, is going to turn and fire at Ozen.
Okay.
What is Io going to do?
And the droid has the back turned to her.
Well, I'm picturing he's
Did the head just swivel and like torso swivel?
Well, it's like he was facing you, and Ozen is coming at like a 90-degree angle, so he's kind of turning like that. So you wouldn't be entirely out of his field of view, you know, kind of corner of your eye sort of thing. Assuming droids have corners to their eyes.
Corner to the optical unit.
But,
Depends on the company. Some have 360 vision.
But yeah, but he's turning at the waist, you know, like about like a person would.
She's gonna try and like pop up over the toolbox and take a shot.
Okay.
Not like trying to come out completely of cover, but like boop boop.
Yeah. If you're laying on top, if you've just got your arms over the top of it, you've still got partial cover or light cover, I think they call it.
Cool beans.
So okay, well you get to do your action first.
9. Should really spend some skill points.
All right, well, it's point blank, so you only have to have a 5 to hit him.
Hey.
Because you two were, you were right up there on him. Is he gonna dodge, or is he just gonna risk taking it? Yeah, he's probably gonna try to sidestep out of the way.
Okay. We'll roll for damage.
Alright, so we got a 13 on his dodge.
Yeah, I dodges that.
Boo.
I believe that will give
Opening
him
it
one
up.
less dice when he shoots at Ozen.
Yes.
-1. 10, 11, 12. Got a 23 to hit.
Oh,
Is Ozen going to dodge?
God, that just fucking hits. There's not much dodging that she can do, but yeah.
I say, how many
sure.
dice can you dodge?
Yeah, sure. I'll attempt to. No, because then. Yeah, it's just gonna hit because it's point blank, and also I have 2 dice in dodge.
Okay.
So yeah, no, just whaps.
Alright, so that hit. So give me a strength roll versus his damage.
I got 10. Oh wait, shit, I did that wrong. Never mind. Let me do that again. It automatically rolled strength. Today I learned. Got. Oh right. I have to click out of it. That's better.
Well, your armor would factor into that for this roll.
Right.
Assuming if you're wearing armor.
I am. But it's just a +1 to that, so it's 5.
Okay.
Are you wearing the blast vest?
Yes.
It adds an extra dice.
Oh, I wasn't. Okay, then.
Mhm.
Yeah, let me do that then. Is it 1d or is it +1?
Plus 1d.
+1d. Okay.
Yeah, if you put in an armor code and then roll.
So
Do
why
that
is
again.
why is it putting 46 when you do that other roll?
Because I had it. I didn't know that it automatically rolled strength, so I had it at like 2d +1.
Oh, okay.
That's my strength code plus that. So it would. Yeah. So there we go. We got there.
All right. All right. I got 10, so you beat it by 2. So you are stunned. You still took a shot, even if it didn't
Sure.
do any serious damage. So you're at -1 dice for your next action.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember how long stuns last. So anyway, you can make your roll. You make your attack roll now.
Yep. I rolled exactly 5.
All right, and remember, melee weapons have their own difficulty number. You don't you don't use the range.
Yeah, no, it's exactly 5 for the difficulty.
Oh, okay.
I'm using my club. I'm not using my lightsaber.
All right. Let's see. He will try to dodge.
Gonna succeed with like anything.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but he's -1 die. So he got a 15 on the roll.
Yeah, no, he was gonna succeed like no matter what.
Oh, okay.
I rolled a 3 and a 2. I rolled exactly 5.
All right, back at the race. You finally hit that. You finally hit that. Not straight away exactly, but
The not the tight turn portion.
right. The closest you're going to get to a straightaway. R2 tells you he thinks he's got the comes over the screen that he thinks he's got the calculations done. He's not sure how much damage this will do to y'all's ship, but the bottom of your ship should take damage better than the top of his. So.
Mm-hmm.
But it's gonna be fun.
Well, what he's hoping is the repulsors will take the brunt, and basically he's hoping the repulsor portion will flatten or forcibly shoot Corvus away because there's still that bit. So I don't think like the bottom will actually like impact. It'll be like the repulsors doing the impacting.
May just kind of push Corvuses down into the ground a little bit or something.
Yeah.
All right. his pilot.
I don't like that look. I mean, I do, but I don't.
You like it when it's not when you're not DMing.
I like it when you're not the DM.
Yeah. So.
Corvus got a 40 on his piloting.
That's cool. That's cool.
What'd you get?
Uh-huh.
I got a 46.
Shit.
This is my area of expertise that we're operating in.
So he makes a valiant effort to get out of the way, but he figured out what you were doing just a second too late.
Now, question: is his cockpit unprotected? Is it open like the one on the White Witch is?
Yes, but like the White Witch, well, where the White Witch has got that one kind of roll bar, he's got a set of them that kind of goes across.
Okay, cool. So, with him basically being open to the air, how does his physical body react to suddenly repulsors going on top of his head?
Well, he's heavily armored, so better than normal people at least.
Like, how well would his piloting be able to do
collision damage
with him being forced down under the weight of a speeder and repulsor lifts?
All right, kilometers per hour. Damage
greatly
dice of
enjoy
collision.
I just greatly enjoy this, like, zoop, like shunting him backwards.
That's kind of the plan. He kind of basically wants to do the whole, like, you know, squeeze the thing until it, like, pops and shoots out thing. That's kind of what he wants to do, is he wants to shunt Corvus out and potentially crash him.
All right. So collision damage. Y'all are going. Let's see. All right. So he is going to have to roll 8 dice of damage for his ship. I'm going to roll half of that for your ship.
Sure.
So let me roll yours. All right, so that's 20 points. And you'll make a
body strength.
I
mean, if it's 20, body strength is going to fail because it's only 3D.
Yeah, but you can make it not take as much damage.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's 9, perfectly in the middle.
Okay.
Which is less than half, unfortunately. But
now, do you want me to roll the damage that Corvus is taking, or do you want to roll the damage that Corvus is taking, or that his ship is taking?
I mean, I could.
All right, roll me 8d6 then.
All right,
and I'll go ahead and just roll his ship's strength.
Okay, 18, 20, 35.
Okay. So 35. All right. Let's see here. Oh, I may have messed up because there's a ramming action chart.
Okay.
Okay, that would be more like if he was tapping. That's not the full on collision sort of thing, though. Okay, never mind. I think I'm on the right doing it right. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you said you rolled a what?
35 for damage.
All right. All right. He got his. What did you roll on your strength?
I got 9 for strength against his damage.
Okay.
So it came out at less than half, so I think something happens.
Trying to maybe just make sure there's not a. Oh. I'm going to memorize where these charts are at some point. Damage summary. Alright. So you take less than. Yours was. It's a.
I rolled less than half the damage. By 1, but I'm not sure if that matters.
Okay, so. That would make you. That would make your ship the equivalent of incapacitated, I think. Which is not as bad as it sounds.
That's pretty bad.
Well, it does, but he rolled a 9 versus a 35. So his ship is pretty well,
Toasted.
yeah.
So I want to say incapacitated inflicts some kind of disability. But there is an R2 unit in there that can affect repairs as well.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Ah, here we are. Hull damage greater than the damage rolled. Lightly damage. Shields blown. Let's see, rolls greater than or equal to, but not 2 times. But they were 2 times, so.
Yeah.
Alright, so your ship is the White Witch is listed as severely damaged.
Okay.
We'll have to look up what severely damaged exactly means. However, the Starlight Gem is effectively destroyed.
Sorry, guys.
So the White Witch comes down on top, just grinds the gem into the ground, and while the witch takes a lot of damage, she's able to continue on. Where the Starlight Gem just keeps, it's blown the repulsors out where the damage is taken. It's just sliding across the bottom of the tube, sparks flying. The roll bars are crushed in. You see Corvus is kind of like this to avoid getting squished, or maybe the repulsors squished him down. Who knows?
Does it affect any of the racers behind him?
Yeah, I was about to ask that. Does that cause enough debris to affect the other racers to still keep Aira in front?
Well, let's see. This round, what was your initial piloting roll?
46.
That's right. 46.
Unreasonably high.
As you look back behind you, you can see Gregoria coming up on the wreck and kind of swiveling herself up on the wall to get past where Corvus's ship has crashed. Everybody else is far enough back that you don't really even see them yet.
Okay.
You 3 have been steadily pulling ahead of the rest of the racers.
So I only roll 8D now for everything I do. I reduce speed, maneuver, fire control, and shield codes by 1. And I have to roll on a table for damage. Where's that table?
Okay.
Starship damage table. I don't know how much of that accounts to a repulsor lift vehicle. It's at the very back of the book.
Oh, that's right. I forgot they had so many of the charts back here. All right. Well, you don't have ion drives.
Yeah, ion drive, nav computer, hyperdrive, weapon system, shields, and lateral thrusters. I have to roll on one of those because of the damage of severe.
Okay. Ion drives, I would say, would be the repulsor lifts.
Okay.
So if you roll that one, you're done moving. The nav computers. Trying to think of what an equivalent. If you roll nav computer, then R2 is shorted out.
Okay.
Not physically damaged, but something's, shocked him enough that he's having to kind of reboot.
All right.
Hyperdrives. We'll probably just re-roll if you get that one. Weapon systems you don't have. Shields you don't have. Lateral thrusters. You'd lose a great deal of maneuverability. So your maneuverability would drop to 0 there. So it looks like we've got 3 options.
Okay.
So a one or a 2 will be basically roll a d6. And half it. So a 1 and 2 is a 1. 2 and 3 is a 2.
Okay.
Or no, it would be. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like 1, 2, 3 is a 1. Wait, no, it's 6. Never mind, I can't do math either.
Yeah. Math is failing me.
1 and 2 is 1. 2 and 3 is 2. 1 and 2 is 1. 3 and 4 is 2. 4 and 5 and 6 is 3.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's mostly just string those letters together that was screwing with me.
Yeah.
Yep.
R2 shorts out.
All right.
I rolled a 3.
You hear that high pitched word, kind of squeal that, if you've seen the movies, you've seen R2 do it.
Yeah.
And when you glance back, you see kind of static electricity running all over him, and all of his little ports opening and shutting. And he's kind of.
I get the mental image of in R2's process while it's happening. It's like, worth it! Am I wrong?
It was so cool that I had to reboot.
Knowing this droid, you suspect that once he's come back to himself, he'll be more than happy with what has happened.
Yeah. Fortunately, he did no permanent damage to the White Witch itself. He just shorted R2.
Yeah, basically the repulsor is almost overloaded with all that, which caused some feedback, which is what hit R2. But
yeah.
And there's some damage.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some physical damage, and it's affecting your use of the ship. So,
but it's not catastrophic.
Right. Now give me your speed roll. Reduced.
Right. Yeah, all of my rolls are reduced by 1 at this point.
Yeah, versus
because of the damage.
Gloria. That's right. I don't have to roll for her because I got her speed roll.
Yeah. That's still not bad. That's a 10.
You and her are right next to each other.
Okay.
Get on the comm. I promise I'm not going to do that to you.
What's the face she's making when the dude that spun her out I just flattened?
She's kind of got a smile on her face as she glances back and gives you a nod.
He just gives her a thumbs up. He just thumbs up and keeps going.
So we'll do one more round for the race just to see who wins between you and Gregoria.
Understood.
The Bulba got fucked up in the back somewhere.
Probably.
He kicked in the overdrive just in time to hit that straightaway and pow right into Starlight Jim's rear end.
Did he really?
Poor man.
Can't catch a break.
Actually, his last roll is actually pretty bad.
Oh jeez.
Come think of it, all of his turned out bad, and that was the dice, not me.
Yeah.
So anyway, cutting to the pit now. What's Ozen doing this round?
Yeah.
Same though.
Yeah. I think Ozen's gonna like it goes like this, it comes down a little bit, and just tries to come back up with the club again. It's like
Alright.
an uppercutting motion.
The droid. So how does the droid do with physical attacks? Not the bestest in the world. He's going to try to kind of backpedal away from you and get another shot off.
Oh, sure.
And what's Io going to do?
Take a shot at the droid.
All right, take your shot. Droid will be dodging. So what did you get?
7 on the dice, plus 5, so... Oh, no, 12. Wait. Yeah, 12.
That's
All
fine.
right.
The close range or point blank?
Point
Is
blank.
it plus 5?
No, the difficulty number you're trying to hit is a 5.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Technically,
Just a
you
7.
hit unless he dodges.
Got it.
And he dodged with a 15.
Yeah. I was like, I'm helping.
Oh wait, I'm sorry, I rolled one dice too many. Let me re-roll that. Okay, he dodged with a 9. Oh, JT's in the chat.
Hey, GT.
And yes,
Hey,
this race is
JT.
totally not stressful. Iria's having
You're
a
right.
great time.
He is. The rest of us,
I'm gonna come back and just be like, I can't leave you people anywhere.
Not for any reason. Oh, and then he's going to try to shoot.
Is he shooting me or is he shooting Io?
He's shooting you.
I will take this opportunity to dodge though.
Though next round he'll probably have to go after Io since she's using a gun.
I rolled a 7 on my dodge.
All right, he got a total of a 21.
Yeah, still gonna hit, but worth a shot.
So you got a what? You said you got a what now?
I rolled a 7.
Okay, that's a 7 plus 5. So okay.
Yeah.
And his damage.
I'm still stunned.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think that affects your strength rolls though. I think that's actions you take. That
No.
affects.
It's just yeah.
All right, he got 12 points of damage.
Uh-huh.
So make your strength roll plus your armor.
I'm out by 1.
Alrighty. So stun goes from you are now wounded. Somewhere on the ship, Doc starts rolling bandages faster.
Doesn't know why. Just doing it.
Yep.
Now it's your go. Or Ozen's go.
I do not think I have any more dice to do this. I had 3. And then 1 because I'm stunned. Does it take another one from being wounded or is it just the 1? And then I dodged, so like I'm stunned, dodged, and then I have maybe 1 unless the thing is cumulative. Wound is
We have a hydrate.
So many people giving so many boons. But that lets me finish off my
Jason
water,
just-
so now I can move to sodas.
What I'll say is
Oh,
Jason
boy.
just empties his mug.
Chug, chug, chug.
Well, I had a drink before I came on cam, so I haven't been going through my water as fast as usual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went through this thing of water, and I had like a third of a mellow yellow can. I'm probably gonna drink the rest of that tomorrow morning for caffeine.
I'm gonna roll 1 dice just in case, but yeah, I rolled a 1 anyway, so.
Trying to find specifically where it said wound effects. All right, wounded characters can act and use skills, but all skills and attribute codes are reduced by 1 die. So the dice penalty does not get any worse going from stunned to wounded.
Yeah, so, but I still rolled a 1, so I still missed.
Okay. Somewhere here there should be the. Okay. All right, so now we jump back out to the race. So give me another piloting roll. Oh, yeah, I don't have to roll dice for this. Hers is predetermined.
Yep, I got a 30.
She got a 27.
Okay.
Give me a speed roll. I don't know why I'm rolling dice.
9.
She got a 10. So she could pass you as far as how fast you can get her vehicle going.
Mm-hmm.
But with you making the piloting rolls, you're basically you're managing to keep her. Now you were rolling with your penalty, right?
Yeah, I only rolled 2 die.
Okay.
I rolled a 5 and a 4.
That's cool. So yeah, she's trying to get around you, and you just kind of keep blocking the way.
I actually rolled kind of I rolled middle of the pack for my piloting roll.
Yeah, she didn't roll max or anything. She rolled pretty decent.
Yeah.
So
I've had a few flubs, but I've been rolling pretty well actually.
So yeah, you come out of the tube and into the kind of the open area.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a holographic, kind of like the tapes, marathon, or not marathon runners, but like sprinters will cross.
Yeah.
You've kind of got a holographic version of that.
Is she like the sort of favored to win racer?
Yeah, she was considered one of the problem. Her and the guy that was supposed to be piloting the Starlight Gem were kind of the two potential favorites.
Okay. Since he completely flattened the Starlight Gem, when they, just for appearance's sake, when they're like within like that last little bit, like really close to the line, he'll maneuver a little bit enough to where she can like get around, but make it to where like it's basically like he crosses by like this much ahead over the line, make it look like a really close race.
It's like I'm just picturing Dash from The Incredibles. It's fine. Second place is fine.
Yeah. Well, he's still going to win.
Yeah.
First place
because money.
Because money. But he doesn't want to like. He flattened one racer, probably annoyed people by doing so.
Pissed off Sabobel somewhere.
So he wants the race favorite not to be like on his ass, considering she's already like, yeah, good job on him. So he wants to make it so it appears like she could get around, but not quite enough to pass him, but almost.
It was almost a photo finish.
Almost photo, yeah. That's kind of what he's going for.
So y'all shoot off into basically over the grass.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a little, where you're supposed to kind of go out, and it's not like a full victory lap, but you kind of go out and circle around close to the stands, and then there's an area you're supposed to park.
Yeah.
So Gregoria gets out of the race, or comes over, shakes your hand, tells you what a good race that was.
Your blaster fire by the pit.
But basically, who was that a-hole piloting the Starlight Gem?
I have no idea. My R2 unit noticed he was knocking other players out, and so I figured I'd do my civic duty and return the favor.
She's like, well, I think he was about to pull that on you anyway, so. Sure about the gym, though. That was a nice speeder.
Well.
As you're sitting there, the other racers come out.
Mm-hmm.
Except, of course, the Starlight Gem never makes it out.
Yep.
Nor does Sebulba's.
Oh, no.
Did he really crash headlong into the Starlight Gem?
The announcers are like, "Where is Sebulba?" And then the cameras zoom in, and you see you see him walking through the clear tubes.
Oh no!
Oh, good grief!
It's one of those things where when it zooms in on him, you see he's clearly talking, and they have to blur his lips so people can't read what he's saying.
Whatever language he's speaking, just like blurred.
Yeah.
But they also don't see Corvus. So,
Oh, does it not like pan over the crash like race stuff does?
Well, it does, but the wreck is smoking a little bit, so they can't tell for sure there's anybody in there. As soon as all the mobile racers get out, emergency vehicles, the emergency crews kind of go in there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the pit.
Mm-hmm.
What's Ozin going to try to do?
Ozin is going to, because she's not incapacitated yet, she's just wounded. Ozin is going to use control pain, so that she can act without the inhibitions of being dice starved, because her dice are very important to her.
They're like her babies.
Especially at such a low force level.
They shouldn't be important to her, though. Attachment is not the way of the Jedi.
Oh my god. Alright, so that is... It is a very easy roll for me. I have 2 dice plus 1. And I rolled a 3. I rolled 2 1s.
Ooh, and what did you need to get?
I needed to get a 5.
You're in pain. Now, does rolling that, was that your action?
That would have been my thing. So technically, she would have gone like after everybody else would have done their thing.
Yeah, but that doesn't really matter.
It was in my head. I was like, I should trust in the Force, and then I just didn't.
The droid is spinning around to fire at Io.
Pew pew, and then back behind the safety of the tool chest.
All right, make your roll, and he'll make his. He will be making his dodge. Sweet goodness.
While yelling, can somebody just call security or something?
Well, most everybody in the room's unconscious. Okay, so 18, 19, 20, 20. Yeah. He got like 25,
beat me.
26. Then he's going to take a shot at you with a -1 dice for the multiple action. And the difficulty number is higher. One higher because of the partial cover. Willie's dodge was really high, but this one not so much. 3, 5.
Ooh, that's a good one.
10.
14.
Oh, very nice. So yeah, you fire, and then you kind of duck back down as his Battle Blaster bolt skims across the top of the toolbox. And then Ozen would do her thing.
Yep. And she hurting. Is it the next round? Or are you got something for Ayerda?
Nothing real specific. The other racers come up and line up. Everybody gets out and kind of shakes hands. Good sportsmanship kind of thing.
Here we have footage from the pit of the various racers' pit crew celebrating. Tied up
They
people.
wouldn't have cameras. They wouldn't have cameras on them. Much too busy with the race.
But well, one of the cameras does catch the Starlight Gem's actual pilot stepping out into the grass, throwing his helmet down in the air.
It could have been me.
He's like kicking up.
I could have died.
No, I think he's upset that he's lost his sphere.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I mean the ceremony, little ceremony kind of stuff. People come out with a little trophy, and they're snapping you a picture and all that. Like you'd expect at the end of the race.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of the other pit crews are coming on out. You don't see the Starlight Gem's pit crew come out, other than that one guy. The White Witch's pit crew is not coming out. But from the way you're positioned, you don't have a good view into the pits.
Yeah.
How close together are the pits? Has none of the other pit crew shown any concern about the sounds of blaster fire?
The ones right
Especially
next
after an assassination attempt.
That's why most of the Starlight Gem. Oh no, they were 2 down from you, weren't they? Well, yeah, not all the pit crews have run out there. And if Io took the time to stop and look at the monitor, she'd see the ones on either side of you haven't budged. They don't know what's going on, but they're not leaving their room.
They're not. They don't want a part of that. That's fair.
But action-wise, what is Ozen doing this round?
Ozen is down like this, drops her electro baton, and is like, I die one way or another, and she's going to pull out her lightsaber and swing up, trusting in the Force.
Alrighty.
So we'll get to that when we get to that.
Okay. The droid is going to retreat towards the door while firing at Io. Oh wait, no. Because he gets to react to what you're doing. So he sees what you pull out. He sees what you're pulling out.
A lightsaber.
So he's going to try to shoot Ozen again.
I was going to do going to have a moment of what the actual... What? And then take another shoot. She's putting a pin in that.
All right. So she gets
a lot of things going on at once.
She gets to take her shoot first.
I didn't know this went from a firefight to like a
sword fight.
Modeling thing. Her shoot.
Can't take her shoot.
Yeah.
Shooty
was
shoot.
This a situation? This attack versus his attack versus my attack. Is this a situation where if I get a lick off first, it'll.
He gets to do his action first.
Yep. Okay.
He is not dodging the blaster bolt, however. He is totally focused on what Ozen has just whipped out.
Reporting
Io.
it back.
Io might not be familiar with the snap hiss, but this droid apparently is. Alright. So, 10. Oh, so you hit. Roll your damage.
Oh shit! I hit.
He's not dodging. You only have to roll a 5. It's point blank.
13.
Alright. Oh, his
Come on,
strength
he's not
is-
strong.
No, his
I'm
strength
not
is
used to him hitting.
His strength is not great. I mean, it's not sucky, but it's not great. Well, there's 1-6. That's good to have.
I just picture Io like mostly looking at Ozen and like, what the, and like just shooting the droid.
So we got a total of a 9.
13 is under, so he's stunned. No, he's wounded.
He is wounded.
Yep.
You have physically damaged him. There's a little hole here, and there's
Hey.
sparks coming out. Then he fires at Ozen. Oh, -1 dice though, because he's wounded.
Uh,
5, 6, 7, 8. He got a total of an 8.
I'll dodge.
All right. And
Roll
you
the
are
5 plus-
trusting in the Force.
Is that all my rolls for the round?
Yep.
Oh, that's sick. That's 5 plus 2 plus 2. That's 7, 9.
Okay. That's 9 plus the 5 he'd have to roll to hit at point blank. So
Correct.
All right, so he misses.
All right. So I'm at normally at 5, should be 10, -1, and minus another one because I just did that. So it's 6 dice.
Okay.
Okay, so I need a 20. So let's see. 5, 11, 18, 19, 20 exactly. I want to cash in that boon because I haven't done it yet.
To add to your to add to this roll or to add to the damage.
Add to this roll. My damage is up. My damage is up there. I'm not worried about my damage. My damage is 8 dice.
All right. Oh, that's right, because you were worried about him dodging.
Well, let's say if you're adding to the dice, wouldn't that double the boon dice for this being trusting in the Force?
Does that double damage? That's 16 dice. I'll do it.
Oh no, it'd be the attack roll.
Yeah, that's what I'm adding here.
Never mind. Okay, sorry. I thought you were
So
telling
that's
me attack roll.
25 total.
All right, 25 total. He got a 5.
Meets it, beats it. DC is 25 with him because it's 20 plus 5.
Gotcha.
So I
roll
hit.
your damage.
Woo! 6, 7, 8 dice. Ozen's good at one thing, and she hasn't been able to do it at all. Ooh. 10, 15, 20, 26, 32.
All right, he's got to roll his strength. Finally. Well, that's only an 11 though. He's only got 3d strength. All right, so he got an 11, and you had how much damage?
32.
32.
He didn't have any armor, does he?
Oh, shit. 33. I'm sorry. It's 8d plus 1.
Oh, he doesn't have any armor. Okay. Oh, you said it
So
was.
I've effectively tripled his
Strength roll.
strength roll.
All
I'm at
right,
33.
and by 3 means immediately he is mortally wounded.
Yep.
So you're coming up, you catch him about the hip, and you exit like right under that arm. You're just gonna, and then he has
so
he-
tired of droids.
he has just enough time that his head
Don't
tilts
tell
down
Doc.
slightly. His head slips down slightly. Oh, it's like the Siege of Mandalore all over again, and shink, it falls apart.
Io, like, from the other side of the tool bench, still just watching. It's like, oh geez, what was the one sister's name? The one that can hear really good in Kanto.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Just standing there like,
She just sits.
how obvious is it that how many obvious lightsaber damage points are there on the droid?
Just the one.
Just the one? But it's still pretty obvious. We should hide this before the captain gets back.
Why? What's gonna happen?
Just shut up and trust me.
All right. Just gonna put him in the toolbox, like the halves.
Well,
Well, it's the toolbox one of those big, like, I'm thinking of the
Yeah.
old big red ones with the shelves, but they have trunks, for packing
Yeah,
stuff
I'm
up.
just gonna put him in the trunk for now.
we can. Io looking at it, would she know if we could actually salvage this droid to be rewritten and reused?
It would cost a little money to be more than just minor repairs. You're gonna have to replace a fair amount,
And-
only in
and
that little
rewrite
area,
it. We're gonna take this trunk with us at some point. We'll figure this out. We're
There's a lot to take in at once, and it's a lot for me too.
yeah. Let's check on the others and make sure they're all breathing, shall we?
They're breathing. She has visible blaster wounds on her coat.
I was somehow stun residue or something, just from the blowback explosion. Why can't we go anywhere nice?
Well, if you believe the propaganda, it's because I'm a bad luck charm.
Well, that makes the whole ship a bad luck charm then.
So now y'all.
What happened with the race? Should we look at the race and see what happened?
You look
looking
at
up
the
at the-
screen, and you see.
We won!
You see the captain standing there on the. They don't actually have a little podium, but he's kind of standing out in front, doing the kind of waving.
Looking like the Sig because he has the dim sum on.
He still has the helmet on too.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Io do we want to tell him now that something happened, or do we want to?
Let's just wait on it.
All right, he can bask in this for now.
I have
Yeah.
a question.
Mm-hmm.
Did Ozen ever turn off the comm link to the captain?
Oh, no,
that
it's
she
off.
Turned on.
Yeah, it's off right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was
a little
about
busy
to,
with the fight.
I was about to have. I didn't know if she had turned it off.
That would be awesome,
about
though.
To say something.
The captain, I won. He through the comm here is. Okay, let's not tell the captain about this. At 2, Io?
No, she knows what will happen.
Mm-hmm. This is why that's why I'm asking. So
Yep.
I don't metagame knowledge of it. That's why I'm asking.
No, she's so. Now what?
So the pit crew, the one member of the pit crew that wasn't unconscious, he's kind of shaking it off, and he's starting to wake, kind of get everybody else awake.
What happened? Ozen just beat the hell out of someone with a what welding
That's fine.
torch. It's fine.
Yeah, the guy that was conscious is like, oh. So he's just kind of like, oh, you've got a lightsaber? That's neat.
Art decor.
Thrall
Just,
Thrall had somebody leave one in a garage one time.
Yeah, that's what this is. It's just,
Question: does he still have it?
Does Stahl still have it?
Yeah, I don't know if he brought it with
Yes.
him or not. I mean, it's not something he don't know how to use it in a fight.
Sure.
But man, when you're but back when we would scrap old busted up speeders to for parts, oh man, that thing was useful.
Oh yeah, it's easy. It's like a knife through butter.
We had to get through a really big door one time, but that was
Oh yeah, me too.
that was not our normal use of it.
Yeah.
This kind of feels like sacrilegious, and I'm not even involved in any of this.
Well, I mean, it was to do good. She's like sitting at this point, blaster wounds.
Io has no medical training.
Nope.
We should have Doc look at you when we get back.
I think
It's like Jord didn't notice the wounds until
I said something.
until you reminded me of them. So yeah, he runs around, he gets one of the other pit crew, and they come over there. They do some very basic first aid.
Sure.
Does anyone of the pit
some
crew notice
pain-killing
the-
cream and stuff like that.
Does the
Does
Does the pit
Go
crew notice they won?
They start to. So they're like,
now that
why are we hiding the droid body?
I mean, it would just get a lot of questions asked. I mean, probably just for the best.
Yeah.
Shortly after that, security comes by and sticks their head in.
Just put a thumbs up.
We heard reports of blaster fire. Did you see or hear anything?
That Corvus guy came by again. The bounty hunter.
He was in the race.
Uh-huh.
And then one of the other
He
guards
said-
like, but we don't know where he's at right now.
I mean, maybe the two of them have the same helmet. Could be the one working with them.
Could be a uniform. Yeah.
They radio that in and go off. And I'm assuming that Ozen is sitting some kind of way where the wounds aren't visible to.
Yeah, no, she's like back to them. She's getting she's fully getting treated like in creams and stuff.
But yeah, Jord and the pit crew kind of pull the. They don't know why. Necessarily you don't want to talk to them, but they're not like super into talking to the police either. So okay.
They feel that.
Real recognize real.
They race speeders. They understand.
I'm just imagining their reaction to, the door that got cut into with a lightsaber.
They haven't seen it yet.
No, the police.
Yeah, no, the police.
Oh, they would have noticed that, but they were also chasing They were chasing somebody around earlier than you had one. So.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough.
Now I've just linked the bounty hunters to the Empire, so loops back together.
But
hopefully, maybe.
At some point, though, George sees a replay of the race. What is he doing? Just as the White Witch comes down on top of the Starlight Gym.
Well,
I mean,
somebody has to be on top.
Oh, my baby. But then he seems impressed. Oh, he still
Io.
won. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good pilot. Give him that.
And once he notices that, him and the pit crew come out to examine the witch. And the damage, the damage is mostly superficial. They're gonna have to replace some of the body paneling underneath there, and probably replace those repulsor lifts. He's not really going to trust those in a race after that little stunt. But they're still functioning at the moment.
I'm gonna use accelerate healing on myself while we're like chilling out here.
I was gonna get the trunk of droid delivered back to the ship.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exactly. So it just lets me make another roll at the end of the day
Mhm.
for wounds.
So Jord pilots the witch back into the bay, complaining the
Captain
whole time
Wilson.
about the sound. Oh, that didn't sound good.
Would you have preferred it to been completely wrecked in the tube?
No.
Then I did what I had to. You're welcome.
Gregoria was talking about the way that guy was racing. So
Yeah. You remember the guy that came in and tried to break your arm before?
mm-hmm.
He
And by
was the
this
one
point,
piloting.
the Starlight Gems crew has been talking. Oh yeah, they came in, they stunned us all, they tied us up.
Yeah, he was the one piloting the ship trying to take everybody out, so I reversed the favor.
This has been the second weirdest race I've ever been involved in.
Gonna talk about Boba Fett again.
I'm feeling that.
This doesn't even rate in my top 10.
Hey, the man tried to throw a thermal detonator into the witch.
I'm sorry, what?
Or no, not throw it in there. It was yeah, the crime guys had planted a thermal detonator on the witch. Though Fett Speeder had a gun on it. Totally not legal.
Yeah.
R2 got rid of the thermal detonator though, and it wound up taking out Fett's ship.
I feel like a lot of this is made up.
Speaking of, and then he'll go and check on R2.
You say that, but your guy was just in a race with a bounty hunter.
Yeah,
He's got everything rebooted. He's back online. He's fine. There was
So
no
did you have
physical
fun?
damage. High pitched squeal. I need to leave the ship more often.
Pats R2 on the head.
Wow.
You'd have been neck deep in the poodoo if I hadn't been here.
Probably
However
not
you would
wrong.
translate that into whistles.
It's like, well, you're probably not wrong, but that's why I keep you around.
And then he gets into a conversation with the other astromech that's complaining bitterly about how damaged the ship is.
A lot of gesticulating droids.
So, how bored were you all in here? As he is pointedly looking at the blaster damage.
The toolbox has been shot at least twice. That crewmate has been shot at least twice.
Yeah.
There was a really, really big rat.
You know,
Wait,
Bigger than a
second.
womp rat.
All the
Was
pit
he
crew
ar-
basically do this little number and they just go about their work.
Right.
They don't know what internal dynamics are going on here, but they are not involved.
Enormous swamp rats.
Is it anything like those giant legends of the huge lizards armed with laser cannons too?
Oh, you know about those.
Yes. Like to ride around with elves and pluck daisies out of field. What the hell happened?
What's an elf?
Yeah.
Ozen.
Why are you asking me? She's your number 2.
You're the one with blaster wounds.
I got shot at.
By whom?
Somebody with a gun.
Somebody working in proxy with your boy up there in the race.
Thank you. Where are they?
Do you show him the crate or what's in the trunk?
Absolutely not.
Where are they now?
Yeah, she sent the crate back to the ship.
Oh, that's right. You'd already sent it off, so.
In a box.
Okay, so you killed them. Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Upside, we found bits and pieces of a droid that Imperial lady with a lightsaber beat up. So we might be able to reassemble it. I've already sent the pieces back to the ship.
Fair enough.
Might, a couple credits here and there, but
If we're lucky, we can reassemble it.
yeah, just wipe the memory. We'll have another crazy droid on the ship with a gun. Do we really want to do this?
No, we don't.
No. We can at least maybe sell it.
Yeah, speaking of, and he looks to the rest of the crew. What's my take for the race?
Your cut of the purse comes out to 8,000 credits.
Holy shit!
Okay.
That's doing the whole, the split y'all had agreed to.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Damage done.
And then, of course, the purse is split out amongst, the top few, the top 3 racers or whatever.
But they're taking 4 each, so that's still pretty fucking good for them. And one of them didn't even do anything.
But, that's also, with the local government taking their taxes and all that jazz.
Sure.
Yeah, he'll take his cut of the purse and pleasure doing business with you.
Oh, yeah, great job out there, all things considered.
Well.
Nothing else would be good for highlight reels.
Oh, yeah.
Besides, that thing was an ostentatious piece of shit. It deserved to be ground into the dirt.
Yeah, the pilot's not a bad guy, but his sense of style is...
Crew are good people. Had to go untie them.
Yeah, that was messed up.
Y'all apparently had fun in here while I was having fun.
George's like, oh yeah, man, that bounty hunter guy of yours, he stunned the entire pit crew of the gym just so he could get into the race.
And then proceeded to get flattened.
All's well that ends well. Let's go.
The crew were packing up some of their tools.
I'll actually before that we'll find Jord.
Oh yeah, he's right there talking to him.
Yeah. Just put a hand on his shoulder, still slightly smoldering with blaster fire.
You sure you're okay?
I will be. I will be. We have a medical droid back on the ship, so.
Oh.
Worst comes to worst, Doc will patch me up, but I think I'll be fine. This has been a lovely few days. It's, and she looks down at her again, blaster fired outfit.
Other than the last few minutes.
Even then, felt good to cut loose a little bit.
Yeah, this has been nice. I mean, except for the obviously not nice stuff.
Pain notwithstanding.
If you feel up to it, we can get something to eat tomorrow.
I look back at the captain.
We're gonna be here another few days.
That's a yes.
See. By this point,
somewhere in the background, Io going.
By this point, some of the medical supplies may be delivered the next day.
Mm-hmm.
At some point during the day.
He figured the droids he ordered will be there tomorrow with some of the medical supplies, and probably the rest will be there the day after.
Yeah,
isn't the planet still on lockdown?
At the moment, yes.
But
also, that can't last much longer.
Yeah.
Jason, just so you know, I deducted another 1,000 off of my credit pool and just went for the full 7 buzz droids.
Okay. You basically just bought one of those weapons and then let the droids out. All right, boys.
Fly, my pretties, fly!
You have to behave, and to pay you back for behaving, I won't shoot you at enemies.
One is nope, back, I say.
I mean, he's effectively going to use them as salvage droids to cut apart wreckage, and then have the loader salvage the stuff like the laser cannons and drives and stuff like that can be sold for a decent profit.
Sounds fair.
I think before we, cut loose for like the session. I know we have 15 minutes. I would like a little as we get back onto the ship and
Well, before
idling
you leave, as you're
Yes.
sitting there talking to Jord,
Mhm.
one of the pit crew walks over. Hey, Jord, what is this? This doesn't look like any of our equipment, but it was stuck to the underside of one of the tables.
Oh no!
Io,
tracker.
Oh
Uh,
no!
well, this one is a tracker / listening device. But it looked to be made by the same company as the tracker that was on y'all's cargo. So somebody was listening to the conversations here in the.
Intense blaster fire.
Mm-hmm.
Intense blaster fire, lightsaber noises.
And earlier when y'all called the captain.
Now, granted, that call didn't last very long at all.
But still, it was probably Corvus.
Would explain how he knew to get into the race,
Yep.
considering the captain showed up disguised. Or maybe he followed the captain from the ship. Who knows?
Io.
Yep. She just kind of takes it. Can I see that? And just like stomps on it repeatedly.
I was gonna say wipe it and we can use it or sell it later, but that works too.
But now it's just so much debris.
This
George
just
like-
feels better. It wasn't worth that much.
George's like, get the broom. All right.
I'll sweep it up, I promise. So, a couple more stomps.
Grind it under the boot just a little bit.
Do you want to torch it for good measure, Io?
No, I'm good.
I have a welding torch.
I'm with her on this. It does feel much better after you know you've been spied on.
Yeah, it's not worth that much
It's
to
not
sell.
pleasant.
We can deduce who, probably, maybe.
Mhm.
Right.
I hate this planet.
Welcome to
You're gonna say that every planet.
Yes, I am.
By the end of the campaign, you'll be looking so wistfully back at your time on this world.
Ah, that planet. I hate it at the least.
Kalas.
But yes, y'all get back to y'all's ship, no problem.
I think before before we wrap up, I think Ozin kind of healing up in her own room, just kind of says, Io, mind coming over here real quick? You mind coming over here real quick?
Yep.
Making a
Pokes
point
head
to
in.
do directly to Io and not to anybody else.
You locked yourself out of your data pad again, didn't you? Forgot the passcode.
Closes the door.
What the hell was it?
All right. Where do you want to go with first?
I'm guessing it's not stolen off somebody's dead body, right? Or wasn't?
Art decor, as far as anybody outside of these walls have to know.
I personally could care less. I don't mean this in a horrible way. I could personally care less what you are or what your past is.
Honestly, that's probably for the better. I just wanted to tell you. Well, first off, I wanted to ask, what do you gain out of this?
Gain out of what?
Dear Captain.
We have history.
Okay.
Oh, tit for a tat. You know what most Twi'leks end up as.
Odd hut toy things.
Less toy thing, more just passed around since I was about a year, 2 years old.
Okay.
Picked up a few things. Eventually, someone put a hole in the head of previous, I don't say employer, but previous keeper. And now he's the
Overseer?
captain.
That makes me question why he would do that more than.
He's a bastard, I won't lie, but he has a code.
Most bastards do say they have a code.
I've known him long enough to trust him.
This still, like, this is still getting to the question of it.
Well, you're a Jedi working with a Hutt and a gun runner. What does that say about you?
I've had a very long-lived life.
I'm so tempted to.
Just show up in the room. No, you were not invited. The door's locked.
Yeah, I know.
You just hear him
He's
beating on
out
the
there
outside,
leaning
"Let me
against the
in!
door.
I wanted this scene. Let me in."
It's his shit, but yeah. I'm just tempted to. The like door opens like you don't say. Game ends. Anyway, sorry.
I'm not sure
I-
if Io is getting exactly what Ozen is asking.
Yeah,
seems to
I'm
be
not.
You
Speak to me like I'm a dumb child. What are you asking?
technically, you lied to your captain.
Trust me, it's for his own good and for our good, especially for your good. Should you continue to wish to stay on this ship? He. You know about Murlockins, right?
Mary Allen, but yes.
Mary Allen.
Allens?
Very.
Jeremy does. Should I roll to know if Ozen would?
Oh,
I have a couple knowledge rolls.
The Mary Allen are a very, very old race that have been a part of the Republic since its inception.
Gotcha. All right, then Republic race.
You
then yeah,
would know
sure.
the basics, you know. The
Sure.
tattoo. The tattoos mean something in the culture.
Tattoos, like, they're tattooed and, all of that.
a lot of connection with the Force and such.
Mm-hmm.
He had a sister.
Mm-hmm.
She was taken by the Jedi at a young age. His twin was.
Sounds familiar.
She did not make it out of whatever happened to the rest of you. He holds grudges, nurtures them, feeds them.
Gives them a little bottle every night.
It gives them a bottle
Me
and
Jason
tucks
had
them
the
in
same
every
brainwave.
night.
Well, I was there when it happened, so.
And you made it out.
Somehow.
Give it time.
I wouldn't even call what I'm doing being a Jedi.
Yeah, you're working with a Hutt.
Well,
We're all kind of
besides that,
working with a Hutt.
we're all working with the Hutt. Besides that, I'm just trying to do good out there while I still have time to do so.
Give it time.
I'm not gonna go brandishing this thing out wherever.
No. But you'll know the right time to, let him know. Like I said, he's a bastard, but
Look, I just wanted to bring you here and say I appreciate that investment you've taken into me, and I won't forget it.
I could say something pithy about hedging my bets, but we're all stuck on this ship with each other. May as well make the best of it.
Yeah.
You should go on that date tomorrow, though.
I mean, I was going to.
Eyebrow waggle, eyebrow waggle, eyebrow waggle.
That's not. No. I'm much too old to eyebrow waggle.
Oh,
I'm
You're
never
only
been
as-
one to lay down my roots.
no attachments, but
Not even the no attachments. It's just been how I've survived over the
still.
30-ish years.
Forget you're old. Either way,
Still got
at least have a good. Yeah, at least have a good time.
I will. Thank you.
Don't stay out past curfew. Don't get called by. Don't get the police called on you.
Too late.
No, tomorrow.
Oh. Okay. We'll see how it turns out.
Yep. Awkward pap on the
Yep,
shoulder.
Let me do the same thing at the same time, which makes
Pat,
it even more
Pat.
awkward.
I'm gonna go. Just like
Yeah.
leaves.
Love you in an unattached sort of way.
Appreciate your face. I'm gonna go.
And she just sits back and I'll do my healing rolls.
Contemplates the cube.
Hey,
she's
Io.
old. She's old and sore right now. It'd probably just be go to bed.
Where did you find this droid again?
Oh, it's been cut down by the Imperial Jedi lady.
Inquisitor, but yes.
Yeah.
Like one clean cut.
This is fairly fresh damage.
Well, yeah, I figured she was the one that cut it down. It just got left. Didn't they come out of the hole like right before the end of the session? This session.
Yup.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're.
So yeah, it was
I mean,
all
she cut through the
bleached.
floor.
Was the droid laying on the floor when it happened?
No, it went after her, and she went back.
Ooh, Erie's very good at, or Iria is very good at weaponry and such.
He is. Weaponry and droids and starships are his specialty.
Io internally, like that gif of the guy just pouring sweat.
Well, no, the time y'all saw the Inquisitor to the time this thing was damaged is close enough that there's nothing. There's nothing looking at the droid's going to do to discount your story.
Yeah.
But he might recognize what the droid is. So I need a roll out of you before we shut down.
Sure.
Let's see. Knowledge. Technology.
Sure.
Great. Oh, cool. It is. And I can add another.
Io sweating bullets.
Oh, no.
That's
it's
not
just
bad.
+2. Okay.
With the +2, that is 12.
Okay.
Little above average.
Okay.
For what it's worth, I'm no longer wounded.
Yeah. So this droid is a BL series battle legionnaire. Created to serve the Confederacy of Independent Systems during the Clone Wars.
Okay. A BL Battle Legionnaire. Do you have a page for that by chance?
Not for full stat block. I mean, I'll get you one if y'all get it reprogrammed.
Fair. I mean, if he recognizes this as an assault mech or assault droid, he absolutely is fixing this thing up.
But there weren't a lot of them made, and they weren't sent on very many missions.
Mm-hmm.
Though they did work with the Mandalorian protectors. I believe there's
Oh,
a Siege
boy.
of Mandalore.
Okay. So
That's gonna be interesting.
they were made by whom again?
The Confederacy of Independent Systems.
So the Separatists.
Correct.
Okay.
Like I said, there weren't very many of them. They didn't use them,
Right.
in like regular combat.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of them on Mandalore during the siege.
Right.
It was the Battle of, or Mission to Norval 2, which saw the Galactic Republic defeat the Federation allied Mandalorian protectors.
Mm-hmm.
So of the few made, there's not very many left around.
Mm-hmm. So a rare droid just happened to show up.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Correction. A previously designed by Separatist droid with very few that were created, even fewer left in production, that was used by the Mandalorians during the siege.
Man, I
This
guess it's
happened
handy.
to show up.
I guess it's handy we have a Mandalorian on here. Maybe she can help repair it.
Io, there's one other
Huh?
there's one other little bit of information you have that it might occur to you, Telecaptain.
Okay.
This droid and Jord knew each other. Remember, that's how the fight kicked off. Was Jord turned around to take the package, and he was like, "Wait a second, I know you." And the droid went, "You, the fat one." Jord's
Yeah,
not
but
fat. He's just a little
she's sticking with the
chunky. Okay.
thing that it was cut down in the hallway. I mean, I'll scan it for any kind of like tracking or anything, but finders keepers.
Mandalorian salvage, right? So it is a Mandalorian droid.
Could add it to the menagerie that you have coming in. Maybe get it a new paint job though.
It could certainly help.
I mean, it has a basic, 3PO chassis, so.
Yes, but it is designed more as a security/assault droid as opposed to a service one.
Yeah, I mean, we could always throw a different chip in it. I mean, look at Doc.
Doc somewhere like trying to heal me where like I'm not even hurt anymore. He's like, why aren't you hurt?
You will take this healing.
Ah, there's another one. Cool beans. Okay. Sorry, I just saw another mask go.
In there.
All right. So we'll wrap up here with the captain being overly suspicious of his loyal number one.
Io internally sweating.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna come back to bite her in the ass at some point. But what fun is it?
Someday, but that day is not today.
Yep.
That is future Io's problem.
Oh yeah. Future Io will look back and be like, "You dumbass."
All right, so we will pick up next time, hopefully with our full complement of players.
Hey, we got you a droid from your planet, kind of.
Yep.
That's when you'll find out Kelter has met the droid. But we'll save that. We'll save that for next round. For next session. All right. So we had a couple folks in the chat. Anybody that came by and watched, we appreciate it. Hope you had fun. I had fun running it. I hope my players had fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeet.
And if you're not tired of, if you haven't had enough gaming for the week, Jeremy, what else have we got on Dire Bear coming up this week?
So tomorrow, False Colin Knights with JT, who was in the chat today. So, hey, um, Thursday is the Night's Ransom with me, Rambo. Saturday is Stolen Cities. Oh, excuse me, with Alex, and Sunday is Varenheim with Trail. And I believe we are off for the troubleshooters for the month. They'll come back strong whenever they decide to come back, and they'll announce that. And then come back to us for Remnant Shadow, the Star Wars actual play.
Very good.
There, I actually said the title.
The whole thing. I appreciate it. So anyway, we will see y'all next time.